As we grow older, one truth becomes painfully clear. Our legs often weaken before anything else. It's not just about aging. It's about independence, dignity, and the freedom to move without fear. Think about it. When your legs start to lose strength, everyday tasks like climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, or even walking to the mailbox become challenges. It's not just inconvenient. It can be dangerous. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults, and most of them start with weak lower limbs. But here's the good news. Nature has given us powerful tools, foods that can actually strengthen your legs from within. You don't need expensive supplements or risky treatments. You just need to be smart about what you eat. Before we dive into the 6 powerful foods that can keep your legs strong and steady, take a moment to comment below. Have you noticed your legs getting weaker lately? What changes have you made to support them? And don't forget to subscribe. This channel is your trusted companion for staying strong, independent, and wise as you age. 1. Salmon, the muscle protector. When it comes to leg strength, protein is your best ally, and salmon is one of the richest sources you can find. But this isn't just any protein. Salmon delivers high-quality, easily digestible protein that directly supports muscle repair and growth. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia. And once sarcopenia begins, it accelerates fast, especially in the thighs and calves. That's why what you eat becomes more important than ever. Salmon doesn't just rebuild what's lost. It also contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These are not just heart-healthy, they're muscle-saving. Studies have shown that omega-3s can improve muscle protein synthesis, even in older adults who aren't actively exercising. That means salmon can help your body retain muscle, reduce inflammation in your joints, and support overall mobility. And don't forget the vitamin D. Salmon is one of the few natural food sources of this critical vitamin, which plays a major role in maintaining bone density and preventing falls. Weak legs aren't always about muscles. Sometimes it's about the bones beneath them. Without strong bones, even the strongest muscles can't hold you up. One more thing. Salmon is rich in B vitamins, especially B12. Deficiency in B12 can lead to nerve damage, tingling in the feet, poor balance, and even walking difficulties. A simple meal of grilled or baked salmon twice a week could be one of the most powerful choices you make for your legs. Here's a gentle challenge for you. Drop a comment below. When was the last time you had salmon? Do you cook it at home or eat it out? Let us know your favorite way to prepare it. Sharing your ideas might just inspire someone else watching this right now. And if you haven't yet, now's the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. The journey to stronger legs and a stronger life starts with knowledge. We're just getting started. 2. Spinach, the green that keeps you moving. It might surprise you, but one of the best defenders of your leg strength is hiding right in your produce drawer. Spinach is far more than a salad base. It's a powerhouse of nutrients that directly feed your muscles, joints, and bones. For seniors, this humble leafy green could be a quiet hero in the fight against frailty. Let's begin with magnesium. Spinach is one of the richest natural sources of this essential mineral, and yet, it's also one of the most overlooked. Magnesium helps your muscles contract and relax properly. Without enough of it, you may experience cramps, stiffness, or even muscle tremors, all signs that your legs are not getting the support they need. But magnesium is just the beginning. Spinach is also packed with potassium, which balances fluid levels in your body and helps transmit signals between your nerves and muscles. That matters more than you think. Without proper nerve signaling, your legs won't respond the way you want them to. Slow reaction times, missteps, and falls often begin with low potassium levels. Now let's talk antioxidants. Spinach contains high levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, not only for your eyes, but for reducing the oxidative stress that breaks down muscle cells over time. The natural nitrates in spinach also boost blood flow, delivering more oxygen to the muscles in your legs, helping them perform better and recover faster. And if your knees have been bothering you, there's good news. Spinach has anti-inflammatory properties that may help reduce joint pain and stiffness. That means getting up from your favorite chair won't feel like climbing a mountain. Here's something to consider. How often do leafy greens like spinach appear on your plate? Comment below and share your favorite spinach recipe. Maybe it's a smoothie, a stir-fry, or a warm bowl of sautéed greens with garlic. Your tip could be the one that helps someone else reclaim their strength. And don't forget, liking this video helps more seniors like you discover simple, natural ways to stay strong and healthy. There's power in sharing wisdom, and you're a part of that. Stay with us, there's still more to come. 3. Greek yogurt, the unsung hero of muscle recovery. You might not think much of that little cup of yogurt in your fridge, but for older adults looking to preserve leg strength, Greek yogurt could be one of the most effective and convenient tools available. Don't mistake it for a simple snack. This thick, creamy food is packed with nutrients that support every step you take. Let's start with protein, because Greek yogurt delivers a punch. A single serving can contain up to 20 grams of high-quality protein, which is essential for maintaining and rebuilding muscle tissue. For seniors especially, this becomes crucial. As we age, our muscles break down more quickly, and our ability to rebuild them slows. Eating enough protein, spread throughout the day, can slow this loss dramatically. Greek yogurt makes it easy. But the real magic is what's with that protein. Greek yogurt is also rich in calcium, and that's key for strong bones. Weak bones lead to fractures, and all too often, those fractures happen in the hips or legs. In fact, one fall can change everything. A daily serving of calcium-rich Greek yogurt helps protect the very structure supporting your body weight. Don't forget vitamin B12, something most older adults are deficient in without even realizing it. A lack of B12 can lead to numbness in the legs, difficulty walking, even feelings of imbalance. Greek yogurt naturally contains B12, helping support your nervous system so your legs can move the way they're meant to. And here's one more bonus: probiotics. These friendly bacteria support your gut health, and believe it or not, a healthy gut plays a big role in how your body absorbs nutrients, especially protein, calcium, and magnesium. If your gut isn't healthy, your muscles won't be either. Here's something for you to think about. Do you eat Greek yogurt regularly? If so, how do you enjoy it? Plain, with fruit, or blended into a smoothie? Drop a comment below and share your yogurt routine. Your insight could be just the thing someone else needs to try. And while you're sharing, have you subscribed yet? These small changes in your daily diet can make a lifetime of difference. And we're just halfway through the list. Stick around, the next food might surprise you. 4. Sweet potatoes, fuel for strength and stability. Sweet potatoes aren't just a delicious side dish. They're a nutritional goldmine for anyone over 60 who wants to walk with more power and confidence. Their warm, comforting taste hides a dense bundle of vitamins and minerals that your legs crave, especially if you've noticed they're feeling a bit more tired or stiff than they used to. First and foremost, sweet potatoes are an excellent source of complex carbohydrates. Unlike sugary snacks that give you a short burst of energy followed by a crash, these complex carbs break down slowly, providing your muscles, especially in your legs, with a steady stream of fuel throughout the day. When your legs feel weak or shaky, energy is often the missing piece. Sweet potatoes help you refill the tank. But they also bring something else to the table: potassium. One medium sweet potato can contain more potassium than a banana. That matters, because potassium helps regulate muscle contractions, prevents cramps, and maintains proper nerve signaling. Without it, your legs can feel heavy, unstable, or even numb. Regular potassium intake is like giving your muscles the clear, strong signals they need to perform. Sweet potatoes are also high in beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A. This powerful antioxidant helps reduce inflammation, which is often the root cause of joint pain and muscle stiffness in the lower body. When your knees ache or your ankles feel swollen, sweet potatoes may help bring relief from the inside out. And let's not forget fiber. A high-fiber diet supports stable blood sugar levels, which is vital for older adults managing diabetes or prediabetes. Sudden drops in blood sugar can lead to dizziness, weakness, or even dangerous falls. Sweet potatoes provide energy and stability, both physical and metabolic. Now I want to hear from you. Have sweet potatoes become part of your weekly meals? How do you prepare them? Baked, mashed, roasted? Leave a comment below and inspire someone else who might need a new idea for dinner tonight. And if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button. These foods aren't just tasty. They're your allies in staying independent, mobile, and strong. We're getting close to the end, but the next item on our list may be the most surprising yet. 5. Eggs, the complete package for muscle maintenance. They may be small, but don't underestimate the power of an egg, especially when it comes to preserving leg strength in older adults. For generations, eggs have been a breakfast staple, but the truth is, they're one of the most complete and affordable sources of nutrition you can find, especially for aging muscles. Let's begin with the protein. One large egg contains about 6 to 7 grams of high-quality, complete protein. What does that mean? It means eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to build and repair muscle. And as we grow older, this becomes critical. Our muscles, particularly in the thighs and calves, lose strength and density over time. If we're not feeding them the right building blocks, they simply won't recover. But here's where it gets interesting. The specific amino acid leucine, found in high amounts in eggs, is especially important for muscle protein synthesis. In plain terms, leucine tells your body to build muscle. And older adults need more leucine than younger people to achieve the same effect. Eggs help meet that need without the bulk or expense of a heavy supplement plan. Now let's talk about vitamin D again. Yes, eggs, especially those from pasture-raised or fortified hens, contain vitamin D in the yolk. This nutrient not only supports strong bones, but also works with calcium to reduce the risk of falls and fractures. Without enough vitamin D, the muscles in your legs can become weak, and your balance may falter. Choline is another overlooked nutrient found in eggs. It supports brain health and the nervous system, critical components for coordination and motor control. If your legs sometimes feel off, it may not be the muscle. It could be the signals from your brain and nerves. Choline helps keep those pathways strong and responsive. And for those worried about cholesterol, modern research has shown that for most people, eating eggs in moderation does not raise harmful cholesterol levels. In fact, for older adults, the benefits of eggs far outweigh the outdated fears. Let's bring the conversation to you. How many eggs do you eat in a week? Are you someone who enjoys them scrambled, boiled, or maybe in an omelet with veggies? Drop your answer in the comments. You might help someone else find a simple way to add strength to their mornings. And remember, a like on this video tells us you want more health wisdom tailored just for you. We've got one more incredible food left to cover. You won't want to miss it. 6. Lentils, the silent strength in your pantry. They don't look flashy. They don't come with a fancy label. But lentils, those tiny legumes, hold remarkable power when it comes to protecting your leg's strength and independence. Especially for seniors aiming to stay mobile without relying heavily on meat or supplements, lentils offer a simple, affordable, and nutritious solution. Let's talk about plant-based protein. 1 cup of cooked lentils provides about 18 grams of protein, and unlike many plant foods, lentils come with a near-complete amino acid profile, especially when combined with whole grains like rice. This protein helps repair and maintain your leg muscles, which become more vulnerable to atrophy as you age. If you've noticed your legs feeling weaker or thinner than they used to, protein-rich foods like lentils can help slow or even reverse that trend. But lentils don't stop at protein. They're also loaded with iron. And here's why that matters. Iron helps carry oxygen to your muscles through red blood cells. Without enough iron, your legs can feel fatigued, weak, and slow to recover after simple activities like walking or climbing stairs. Many seniors experience low-grade iron deficiency without realizing it, and lentils are an easy fix, especially when paired with vitamin C-rich vegetables to boost absorption. Lentils are also an excellent source of folate and magnesium. Folate supports healthy circulation and nerve function, ensuring the signals between your brain and your leg muscles stay sharp. Magnesium, as we've discussed earlier, helps prevent cramps, spasms, and muscular fatigue. These nutrients work together silently, every day, to help you stand, walk, and move with more ease. And perhaps most importantly for older adults managing blood sugar or cholesterol, Lentils have a low glycemic index and are packed with soluble fiber. That means they help regulate blood sugar levels, reducing the risk of those sudden energy crashes that make your legs feel like jelly. And because fiber also supports heart health, lentils contribute to better overall circulation, which is essential for strong, nourished leg muscles. Here's something to consider. Do you keep lentils in your kitchen? If so, how do you prepare them? Soup, stew, salad, or maybe even a veggie burger? Share your favorite lentil recipe in the comments below. You never know who might try it next and feel stronger because of it. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. We're building a community of older adults who want to thrive, not just survive. This final food wraps up our list, but we're not done yet. Let's close this out with a few final words that matter. Your legs carry you through life, through decades of memories, through joys and struggles, through every step of independence. But aging doesn't mean surrendering your strength. Not when nature has given you tools this powerful. Salmon, spinach, Greek yogurt, sweet potatoes, eggs, and lentils, they're not just foods. They're fuel. They're your defense against weakness, your protection against the loss of movement, and your path to staying steady and strong. You don't need extreme diets or expensive powders. You need consistency, care, and a little wisdom in what you put on your plate. The journey to stronger legs starts in your kitchen. Now it's your turn. Which of these 6 foods will you start eating more often? Or have you already seen results from one of them? Share your story in the comments. We read every one. Someone out there may be one meal away from changing their life because of your advice. And finally, if this video helped you, like it, share it, and most importantly, subscribe. Stay with us on this journey of strength, resilience, and purpose. Because growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. Not when you know how to fight back.